You're glowing more. All right. So hello, everyone. This is Megan Marini. She's here with me today to talk about cleansing and her experience with cleansing. She is an organic farmer here in Olympia, Washington. She owns Calliope Farm, and she's amazing. You can find her at the farmers market downtown in Olympia. And as you know, I'm Summer Bock, and just wanting to share a little bit more about cleansing. We've been talking for the past hour, and I just realized we need to turn on the video because it's good. It's good. There's some good stuff here. Yeah, welcome into our little conversation world. Do you want to say anything or like introduce or?
Yeah, I'm Megan, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, okay. So let's see. Let's start out. I think what was interesting to me is the story of like when did we first do a cleanse together, or how many times have you cleansed with me?
Yeah, that's kind of what we were just trying to figure out, and it's definitely been, I mean, some years that I've progressively done this with you, and I can't quite remember, but I feel like it was the first time. I feel like it was at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, at least 3. Yeah,
at least 3 years ago was the first time, and it was one of the first nutrition groups that you had started, and it was definitely my first time thinking about my diet and thinking about restricting it or changing it or kind of doing anything to it other than I've always been interested in organic food and farming and living naturally, but I had never really thought about it. Like, I thought about it mostly in terms of like the world outside and the health of like the world, but I never thought about just like the health of my body. And like, whoa, like eating sugar can affect me, or like these other kind of things can affect you other than just like chemicals or things like that. Or,
yeah.
Like, I still smoked at the time, and I ate a lot of like bread and sugar and stuff like that. Yeah, that was 3 years ago, and I think it has been like at least, I feel like I've taken 4 or 5 kind of groups, classes, and different manifestations with you. Is that right? Maybe
I think so.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
4?
I think it's probably about 4, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And it's been like different things every time. I know, like that one that we started with was like a Candida Eve oriented, I think. It was like eating like lean meats and veggies and about like food combining and stuff like that. And then we did that one with Tyler and Carlin and me. And that was when I stopped smoking and doing yoga. You introduced me to Ashtanga yoga.
Right.
I can't remember what the diet component of that was, but which one that was.
I think that one was where, it was similar. It was really adapted to each person, what each person was going through.
Yeah.
I remember really adapting that one. That's when that started for me, that process of like figuring out how to work with a group of people and get each person to cleanse in a way that's like at their own pace. Because I remember distinctly that some people were doing certain things, and I felt like that was what ended up when I was reading what everybody had written. I was just like, whipped this out the other day, and each person was like, wow, I just felt like I got to figure out what I need for my own body. So it was a pretty personalized cleanse in that way.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I remember from that in the beginning time, at some point I learned about the body ecology diet from you, and you had done it for the 3-month kind of healing period that they suggest. And I was like, oh, I want to try that. And I did that same thing. And around that time is when I started doing yoga with you. I did the body ecology diet, and I stopped smoking.
so huge.
It was like
that was like a transformation.
That was
time.
like transformation.
That was it. Yeah.
It was crazy. It
Totally.
was, and that was like I feel like the pivotal point in my life where it changed, and where I feel like I started to really just think and help with a healthy mind and body, you know, think about my life in that way. I've never gone back to that life before, you know, where I smoked and drank and just wasn't quite as physically connected with myself. I don't know, everything is definitely different. Even if I do go through bouts of like eating spelt chocolate chip cookies, it's not the same, you know, it's like I have these points where I eat some sugars or whatever, but I never eat refined sugar and wheat anymore. Who does that?
And it's not like, is it difficult to not do that, or?
No, it just feels, now it's like, it's every time that I go back and do these like kind of intense cleanse, it gets easier to just maintain a healthful lifestyle. Like, it just became imprinted doing a 3-month-long stint, you know, just like that's imprinted on my life somehow, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And I couldn't have, like, I really never thought in that moment or before that, I had smoked for 10 years and had just like pretty ingrained habits, you know, so it's definitely a big deal. It wasn't like totally easy, you know, there's hard parts to it for sure.
Tell me about other cleanses that you've tried.
So started off with like the Candida diet, then I went into the body ecology diet, which was like a really intense Candida diet. And then I did some juice fasting, some like small juice fasts and cleanses, and then I did the master cleanse. With one of your groups, I decided to do me personally. I would do the master cleanse. I've always wanted to do it. Just like take it to the next level and do the master cleanse.
Yeah.
I think I did it for like 6 or 7 days, something like that. I didn't make it the full 10 days.
How did it go for you? How was that one?
I mean, will say that I did feel pretty good while I was on it, and I do feel like I cleansed something out. Like I felt really on top of my game and bright and shiny. But I think in the end it was the worst cleanse that I ever did. And I came off of it really horribly. And it taught me the importance of coming off a cleanse.
Like what I call like breaking a cleanse.
Breaking a cleanse.
Okay, so is this one of maybe a disaster?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely.
So, do you want to share your experience, your disastrous experience with with breaking the cleanse or a cleanse?
Yeah. Well, I think it was like the 7th day into it. I was working outside. It was springtime. It was March, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I was really hungry. I was like, I have to eat. I have to eat now. I was just like, I gotta eat, and I was like, I'm just gonna eat an apple, and I start like eating this like a little piece of apple, and I could not stop. And then I saw this huge thing of cashew butter in my kitchen. And I was like, that seems like the perfect thing to put on this apple. I'm just going to put a little bit on there. And the next thing you know, like, I finished, like, 3/4 of this jar of cashew butter. And, like, the most fattiest thing you could eat, you know?
Yeah.
And instantly my stomach just, like bound. And I was
Didn't you have, like, a salad? An avocado, too?
Oh, I think I did. Yeah, like, I was like, yeah, it's just like,
I remember it really clearly, those specific details.
Because I called you.
Because you called me at like midnight.
It was like, I was full. Number one, I was so full. Like my stomach was so fucked up. It was like, my stomach was so messed up, and I was just grinding on itself, and I instantly went into the bathroom and was like, this is not right. This is lunchtime and I was supposed to go back outside, and I couldn't go back outside. So like on the floor, and like something is happening, and then I just started vomiting, and it did not stop. It didn't stop for like 8 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I remember this.
Yeah, I called you.
It was intense.
In the middle of the night. It was really bad.
I was scared.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I just know, like, if you called me after midnight, if you called me one more time, I said to myself, if you call me one more time, I'm sending you to the emergency
Yeah.
room.
I thought I was going to have to go to the emergency room for sure. It was, like, not okay. Like, I was just vomiting bile. It was just really hard on my body. And part of the reason that it was so hard is because I realized that I'm really allergic to cashews. Like, and I had thought back to all these other times that I had vomited, and it was because I had eaten cashew gravy or like trail mix with cashews in it, and I realized, oh my god, I'm like really allergic to cashews. Why didn't I know this before? And it makes something happen with my stomach. I don't know what it is. So now I really know that I'm allergic to cashews. But
I think that's like so interesting that even like through this cleansing process, even through this like horrible experience, but you still figured something out that has been invaluable.
Yeah.
For your life.
Yeah.
To like, oh wow, can't touch cashews.
Yeah.
Message received.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess that's like the optimism coming through in me, and like I'm always like trying to find out, well, what's the good part about this?
Yeah.
You know?
I think there was a lot of good things. I mean, realizing that you need to break a cleanse slowly and like.
Yeah, there are really specific foods to break a cleanse on.
Yeah,
that
especially
are
when
gentle.
you're not eating anything, when you're just eating lemon juice and maple syrup. You're like, my stomach had forgotten how to process things, especially just like fats and oils or whatever. You know, I felt like it was just like it was so hard for my body to digest. Right,
and I think that's, you know, too, like if you know, like with the cleanse coming up that I'm doing the nutrition geek detox, if there's going to be some people on that are juicing like for 5 days, and so during that portion of it, those people are really going to have to focus on how to break the detox. You know, like what foods to eat. You know, what things are going to help wake up the digestive tract, because when you do that, I mean, no offense, it's like literally it's like you've been sleeping for like say 12 hours, right? And then somebody like pulls you out of bed, you know, like they like put on your clothes while they're putting you in the shower, pull you out of the shower, stick you on a helicopter and zoom you to work, and like you're sitting in your desk at work or wherever you work less than 5 minutes after you got up. That's what it's like to go from like not eating to digest. This was like for your liver, for your stomach, and for your whole digestive tract to go through that process. And I mean that so many people have stuff like that happen when they break the cleanse. You know, that is not uncommon. I think that's why I really wanted people to know this story. Yeah. Because it, you know, it's like, it's important, it's honest, and it's like something that so many people have experienced. And I think that sometimes it keeps people from cleansing again. You know, or it keeps people from feeling like they did it right or whatever. You know, and clearly like there's better ways to make things happen in a cleanse, but like you have to learn that over time, you have to practice it, and it's like important to get the right support and all of that. Yeah. And just knowing that that's not like if something like some traumatic thing happens during a cleanse, you can still do another one. You can find a way to make them work for you or whatever. I'm glad that I had done the body ecology diet before I had done the master cleanse, because I knew that because it worked so well for me. The results, it took a lot longer for me to feel the results of that, because it's like you're still eating food and you're combating this like crazy thing in your digestive system or whatever. But it felt so, like to me it was like felt so good by the end of it, and I still had strength to work, and it was like such an interesting. It was such a cool way of viewing cleansing. I was like, oh, you're just not taking out all the food. You still have these foods and stuff. Nice. Yeah, and also the other cleanses that I've done with you, like the liver cleanse, kind of taking out oils,
still eating but having like these other different kinds of restrictions where you're like letting your liver have a break. I really like those kinds too, because I have real strong emotional attachments to food, and when I take it all away, sometimes I can go through this crazy like just need for it, and it doesn't make me act rationally sometimes. Where I'm just like, I need it now. I don't know what to do. I just need something. And so I love doing those liver cleanses in the fall. I've done it twice now, I feel like, in the fall, just like a month long. Even sometimes I'll just do like little mini versions of that all the time. Like if I'm feeling kind of bogged down for like a week, I'll just eat brown rice and steamed vegetables with just like some flax oil or something. And it's just like always like if I just make myself, even just for 3 days or something, I have that little sheet that you gave us, and it's just like, oh, these foods you can eat, you know, and try to like keep my seeds and nuts and stuff down, and just like keep in a little framework for a couple of days. It always makes me feel better to just remember to kind of keep those things in check.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, those liver cleanses really help. But I'm excited to do a juice cleanse because I love juice. I love the way it makes me feel. I think it really makes me feel good.
Nice.
Even though not eating solid food is really hard. Even if I just do juicing for a couple days, and it would feel good. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that even in the mornings sometimes, like on these Saturday mornings, I still do yoga, and if I prolong my eating even till noon, I feel like for the whole week I feel better.
Having that like one day a week where you're sort of like fasting for a little
bit.
Yeah.
It like makes me feel better. If I don't have that, I definitely notice it, you know?
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny, like as you're saying this, I'm even thinking to myself how hard it is to like get on a juice cleanse.
Yeah.
Like it's freaking hard. Like I know that in my own mind. It's like I will feel amazing if I juice for 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how, what?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think that's just an interesting thing. Like, what does it take to motivate you enough to do it? Or like, what needs to be happening to, or like, what kind of support do you need in order to like get that? Yeah. I think for me, it's like knowing that there's a lot of other people doing it.
Yeah. Totally.
It's like I'm gonna be accountable. I'm gonna like show up, and they're all gonna be doing it. And if I didn't, I'm gonna have to say, oh yeah, I ate some food. Yeah. It's like only 3 to 5 days out of your life you're talking about, and you're like, I couldn't do it. It's like, so you're gonna stay on it. Yeah. I feel like. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked the times when we met with people and having that group kind of thing happening. It was really nice. It was nice just to check in and then talk about what you're feeling, and knowing that someone else is doing it, especially living with somebody that's not doing it. It's nice to know. Oh yeah, exactly. Right? Somebody else. Like I'm ever going to be able to get JD to like be on a juice cleanse with me. I know. No. I know what my husband will always talk about how, oh man, I really need to like cleanse or do something, but will he ever do it? No. He did do it once, and he felt so good. He talks about doing it all the time, and then his like version of doing it is like really funny. That's awesome. One day, like, very God, I'm gonna put you down, little grumpy grandma cat. She's like, wait, you think you're gonna come out here? Let's see, what else? Is there anything else that you would want to share that you can think of about cleansing? That's important. I would just say. But do you have anything to share? I would just say to have fun and feel your body, enjoy yourself. It's so fun. Nice. And I think that a good part, if you can, is to have a little bit of a physical component, like a yoga or like or a meditative practice or something else to like feel what's happening in your body while you're doing it, so you can like really enjoy all those cool things that are happening. Doing saunas and like just making sure that you're like adding this other stuff in and making yourself feel good. And
letting yourself feel good for 3 days or whatever it is that you decide to do it for. Yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, I think we'll end there. Thank you so much. Really awesome. It's an honor to hear all this. And Megan Marini, everyone.